No, it's not Darth Vader, though you might be forgiven the mistake. Allan Herridge may never be a star of the big screen, but he's a champion of the short race. About 6 seconds is all it takes Allan to cover the quarter mile here at Santa Pod. In that 6 seconds, he's going to blow a cool 175 pounds worth of nitromethane fuel, tyres and engine wear. That's over 28 pounds a second, and at that rate, he can't afford to get it wrong. So, from engine to tyres, from start to finish, Allan took time out at Santa Pod this week and explained to us how he gets it right.
Basically, it was the Chrysler V8 hemispherical engine, what they called the Hemi. And the tooling costs for it in America got so out of proportion, expense-wise, but it is the finest engine for racing because of the combustion chamber configuration. Basically, the old power output in the stock form was about 450 horsepower, which was a lot for a production car. But today's standards, the way we run them now, fully tuned, that's with a supercharger on it and fuel injection, you're talking excess of 2,000 horsepower.
What can that sort of power output do to an engine on a drag racing track?
Well, it all depends how lucky you are. Let's put it this way, you need an element of luck, there's no doubt about it.
If you're unlucky, what can it do, Allan?
You can lose it just completely come apart. Just completely come apart.
You've known that to happen inside the cab, haven't you?
Oh, yes, we've had them come apart. And bits go everywhere, here, there, everywhere. It takes half the body with it. But normally catches light because you have although not a highly octane fuel, but hot oil and fuel becomes quite a fire at speed.
Yeah.
Right.
Drag racing really is a one-shot technique on each race. This will depend 100% really on your crew outside the car until you get to your start line. But the technique is basically you'll get your chief crewman who you take final word from until you're ready, which is he'll run you through the water just to give the tyre a break, and you'll do a burnout, perhaps 50 foot, 30 foot, may even go as far as 100 foot, all depends on the traction or dust on the track. Then you'll get backed up in your own track, which is a stickies sequence, and if he's not happy, he'll make you do another one. So you do a short one, and then you'll back it up, and then you'll just keep hitting the throttle with the brake on hard, because you've got so much horsepower, it'll move the car anyway. The brake won't hold it like that. And you just keep hitting it just to get by it and feel by it. You'll go into stage, well, you'll go into pre-stage, which is top light. Now, you can either sit there and wait till your opponent comes into pre-stage, and you'll both go into stage together, which is normally the sportsman way of doing it anyway. But you'll get one that he'll sit out of stage. So you start thinking to yourself, you don't start counting because you've lost your concentration. So he'll come into stage, and then it is instant amber, green. You have to leave on the amber.
Nobody ever sees the green light, is that right?
Well, if you do, you've lost. It's as good as that. If you see the green, if you leave on the green light, you have lost, because you've left half a second after the green light's been on. So you leave on the amber, which is a half-second sequence to the green. There's normally 2 or 3 different really bad aspects of it. One is excessive shake. Now, you can get tyre shake, which is created by 2 or 3 things. The clutch setting's all wrong, it's biting too hard, the tyre pressures are all wrong, or you had the wrong compound. That is something to be seen. That is really exciting. It virtually tries to shake the car to pieces. And of course you can't see, and you go, well, so you have to shut it down. The next one is really if you're backed up in your tracks and the man hasn't put you in your exact right tracks, and you've got one in stick and one out of sticky compound, you'll take an exit stage right or left, whatever way, and it's just instant. You just go that way or you go that way. Providing you get over them problems and you're on your way, your transmission can go away, which fails. You could run out of fuel if you've been staging and doing a bit of staging psychology. In that case, you'll just lose the roof of the car, the supercharger, and just throw itself in the air.
What exactly happens when you run out of fuel when the engine's running?
Explodes the supercharger. Because it is such a finer mix, it just comes back and it literally explodes.
Tell me, Alan, if we're getting so good at this sport, then how come the Americans still continue to dominate when it comes to winning titles?
We race twice a month, or sometimes only once a month. We average on twice a month. Probably 6 races in that month. Whereas they're running 3 times a week, and they're probably running 20 times that week.
There's no substitute for doing it?
That's it. It's no substitute for experience.
With 250 drivers from 5 nations and 20,000 paying customers to watch, there'll be an awful lot of 6-second happenings at Santa Pod this weekend. Top Americans Gene Snow and 4-times world champion Dom Prudhomme won't be taking any prisoners. Neither will another crack US pilot. Tom Hoover is taking a first time out at Santa Pod, so he came early to look at the strip.
Well, I'll tell you, for the first time being over here in England, the track impresses me. I've raced at many tracks in the United States, and the track looks top-notch. And I've heard from some of the other guys that have been over here before me that the track is very good. The times here have always been fast, and it looks like it's going to be a great weekend.
Who are going to be the men to beat? I gathered a couple of chaps called Gene Snow and Don Prudhomme might
That's
just
right.
put up a bit of opposition.
There's going to be some pretty good cars in the United States. Those 2 names you mentioned, I race every weekend over there. And this is the first time for myself and Don the Snake Prudhomme, who is very, very tough. And
he's 4-times world champion, isn't he?
Right. So he's tough, and this year he's been running good, but he's not ahead of Raymond Beadle right now in points chase over there. But the Snake is still #1 wherever he goes.
Santa Pod, Saturday and Sunday could be good.